after I vacuum out this van.
Hey, what's up, guys? I hope some people join us here in a minute, but this is the Lundy Show live feed. I tried to do it through Patreon, and I couldn't quite figure out how things went. So if you guys come over and subscribe to the page, you guys are seeing an upcoming event pending. I abandoned that. I'm just going to do it easily. I'm just going to do it here for right now, and then probably here in a bit after, because I've been spending a couple hours on this project between recording the podcast episode today, which epically failed at the end, to trying to plan to do this. We're calling this Story Time with Lundy. So if you guys aren't aware, this is a Lundy Show podcast. I know it says Dave Lundberg on the thing. I'm trying to figure out how to change it. But we're going to do a little story time. And we kind of made you guys listen to the episode that was just published, episode number 74, called it Not Joe Rogan. Here's the story behind the title of the show, Not Joe Rogan. So, a couple weeks ago, you guys can talk on this one. This is normal. It's just a live feed for my show. Don't worry about it. Unless you're talking about.
Are you going to watch them while we come to get me tonight?
I can come and get you tonight, then we can go out.
I have to go home and get clothes.
Oh yeah, so I'll watch them. That's fine.
So she can come get me. We can run to her house.
Yep. Yes. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Let me think. So again, if you guys haven't noticed, the Lundy Show studio is literally in the middle of my apartment. And once we get things a little bit more rearranged and clean, I will give you guys a tour of the Lundy Show studios. So anyways, story time with Lundy goes a little like this. So a couple weeks ago, I'm not going to say who my distributor is. I don't want to throw them under a bus or whatever. But a couple of weeks ago, Al and I, who is a friend of mine from Minnesota, Al is a gimmick name, Alcoholic, records the wrestling podcast with me. And we talk about wrestling and other things. This week, if you go and listen to Not Joe Rogan, we talk extensively about the shit show that occurred at the end of McGregor Khabib, and we just compare it to some WWE or actually back to WWF Attitude Era stuff. So with that being said, I'm not a Brock Lesnar wrestling guy anymore. I'm not. I think him being there part-time and holding a belt of any kind tarnishes it. There's other people on the roster that deserve the shot. So we recorded after Hell in a Cell. And if you guys know me personally, you know I got a mouthpiece on me that sometimes doesn't know when to quit. And we said a lot of swear words, more specifically the F word, during the recording. And we got to the end, and I went a little Alex Jones in the last half an hour with the effing Brock Lesnar's and this, that, and the other thing. So we went a little overboard. I went to publish. It got pulled down probably 20, 30 minutes later. It got pulled down, and nobody gave me a reason. Nobody really gave a why. So I tried to republish it, and it got pulled right away. So what I'm guessing is that my distributor's sensors got a hold of it, and we're like, that's too much. So there's a desk, and it's usually always Katie from the help desk. So I send her a message. I send the help desk a message. I'm like, hey, what happened with this episode of my show? Why did it get taken down? He said, well, are you the creator of the Lundy Show? And I said, yes, I am. Here's the pertinent information that you need. So what seems to be the problem? I said, well, this episode was pulled down because I don't know. And she says, well, ... 149 F words in an hour and a half, with most of those coming in the last half an hour of your show, was a little excessive, and you didn't put any warnings on it, so we removed it.
Hey, we're going to go to the car wash and get the bigger vacuum.
Okay.
Okay, we'll be back.
All right. So that happened, and I'm like, all right, well, what about my First Amendment rights and You guys help distribute the Joe Rogan podcast, and they get way wackier and touch on stuff and get a little bit more ranked than I do. There's a pause, and then it's ... Sorry about that. You didn't follow proper procedure. Like, sorry, we feel like you got your rights violated, but you didn't follow the procedure of putting an explicit tag on in your show notes. So that's not, and you're not effing Joe Rogan. I laughed hysterically for 20 minutes because this lady at a help desk put me in my place. So that is where the title of today's show came from. Not Joe Rogan. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. So check it out, guys. I don't know if you guys heard me make reference, but I've got a Patreon going, patreon.com//Lundy show. I'm trying to figure out how to get this all to work in sync together so my camera turns on and I can give you guys content over there like this, where it's extra, where it's bonus, where it's behind the scenes. When I get my new equipment, I might show you how I'm setting it up. Like I said, when we get things a little bit more organized around here, I might give you guys a tour of the Lundy Show podcast studios, which again, it's just the living room of my apartment. I might discuss some other things, whatever. I hope you guys enjoy the content. I'm really trying to get to build my brand and get everything to take off. Like I said, in my first feed over here. So yeah, here's some backstory behind the Lundy Show. Me and a former coach of the Yellowstone Quake and another guy were sitting in the office one day, and I on a side note, I broadcast for the Yellowstone Quake. I'm their microphone guy up in the stands, and I call the games. I do play-by-play and color because I'm a one-man show because nobody really wants to do that stuff. So we're sitting there and I'm like, man, I've been listening to these podcasts. I'd like to do one. How hard could it really be? What do you guys think? And I looked at Coach at Ryan and I said, hey, bud, so if I do this, will you be a guest on the show? Will you interview? Can I interview the guys? And he said, absolutely. So this is how the Lundy Show started, was in a coaching office at the Riley Arena. I went out and bought the laptop that I'm on right now. I bought just a regular old microphone, and that's how the show started. Very grassroots, very DIY. I have no producers, no script writers, no nothing. I do all of this. I fly off the cuff on all of this. And the way that the wrestling show started was kind of the same way. I got a couple episodes, I was planning to get things started, and I messaged my friend who started out as the unknown guest. There's a reason behind why he is using a gimmick name and not a shoot name. Gimmick working name is a persona that he uses for the show. Hi, whoever just joined me. So we call him L on the show. So I asked L, I said, hey, how would you like to be another part of my show and be a co-host for the wrestling show where we talk about WWE? You can cover independent wrestling from Minnesota because that's a hotbed for wrestling right now. You can cover all of this stuff and we can have a blast with this. And he's like, absolutely. But here's the thing. I can't use my real name because this, and this. I'm like, all right, that's cool. We started with the unknown guest, and that was the way it was for the first 14 or 15 episodes that he was on. And one day we were getting ready to record, and basically how it works is I cut my intro, so I get my shit in, podcast, or my Facebook, my Twitter, and businesses that I want to support and throw out here. Don't forget about Diamond Glass, guys. So I'm thinking about it. Joey Croft over at Midway started his own business. They're pretty good out here in Cody, Wyoming. So, we're in the pre-show, if you will, kind of discussing what we're going to talk about. And his wife in the background says, hey, they should call you Alcoholic. And I'm like, that's it. That's going to stick. That's what we're calling you from now on, is Alcoholic. So that's how Alcoholic came about. And that's that's how it goes. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of some other grassroots or some other stories that that are pertinent to the Lundy show. The first hockey show was recorded, and we're just going to give you. I'm trying to type and talk at the same time. We're just going to give you. I'm just going to give you guys a little history. The first hockey episode was recorded with Nick Legacki and Mason Stewart of the Yellowstone Quake at Beck Lake 2 summers ago. Nick was a departing player. He had aged out. No longer, he had aged out. He was done. And Mason Stewart was on his second to last season, and what we thought was going to be his last season, we thought he was going to go play somewhere else. So we sat down and had a great conversation about hockey, what it means to them, coming from Washington or Illinois to Cody, Wyoming to play hockey, and that's kind of how that whole thing got kicked off. Was me wanting to get these guys' story, and I found it interesting. And as the show went on, a local kid came in and sat down and joined us by the name of Carter Johnson. And that's how the hockey show started. It was very, it was very cool. It was outside. We recorded. I came home. I downloaded the episode, got it posted. And the rest is history on that. I think the following week I had Coach Theros on, and it just built from there. I'm at 70. I'll be at 75 episodes tomorrow morning when I record. I gotta say, guys, like, I'm super happy so far with the way things have gone. I'm getting new equipment this week for the show, so I'm super stoked about that. It should clean things up a little bit. I'm gonna have a better mic. So I was telling Al in the beginning, before we recorded today, my mic literally sits off to the side. So I have to determine how far I'm going to sit and my comfortability and where I have to move the mic on the table in front of me here, where my new setup is going to have the mic hanging and I can determine where I want to set it to better, and then leave it. And then just kind of bump the stand as I move back and forth while I'm talking. And Big Poppy 91, welcome to the show. So yeah, and a sound condenser mixer to help clean things up. So I'm super excited about that, guys. But literally, this is how it started. This is how the Lundy show started. And actually, here's story time with Lundy. Goes way back to about 3 years ago, where the Lundy show actually started. And this is no joke. This is no BS. This is the real deal, guys. If on this very channel, if you go back, and I say now I stay away from politics and other things, so don't judge me. But I couldn't delete the content. I couldn't figure out how to do it. So on this very channel, if you go back, this channel started with the kid getting kicked in the nuts in Las Vegas while I was there on my buddy's honeymoon, or not honeymoon, on his bachelor party. And then I put my taser video up there when I got tased. And then nothing for a couple of years, for probably 3, 4, or 5 years. And I messed my leg up, and I decided I was going to talk shit one day. And instead of just typing and whatnot, I'm like, I'm going to try to start a YouTube channel, see how many people follow that shit. So I get on this here deal, and I start cutting promos about current events and my shitty thoughts while I was sitting there, eating pain pills to keep the pain in my legs subsided. Looking back on it now, it's pretty funny, but that's really how the Lundy show started, was just me talking trash and and being political when I probably had no business being political. And that's the other reason why I stay away from it is I have my opinions and nobody wants to hear them on that note. So on today's episode of the show, we talked about a little bit about the McGregor Khabib fight and how that correlated to basically to WWF. And I said that in the beginning, and I found it, Al and I to be on the same page on that both parties acted really dumb, going all the way back to when Conor threw the dollies and stuff into that bus and hitting some of Khabib's guys with glass, and a couple people not being able to fight in the upcoming fight. All the way up to this, both parties were dumb. Khabib went into business for himself, and I think it's going to pay off in the long run. I think we're going to see a rematch. I think the trash talking might be dialed back a little bit, but who knows? If Conor McGregor's involved, it could be very interesting. I had somebody join me here, but don't know who it was. I'm guessing it was Big Poppy 99 or 91. I'm pretty sure I know who that is. So, little back history. Lundy is a jack of all trades and a master of none. I enjoy doing this stuff. This is fun for me. I'm not really looking to get rich off of it or get famous, even though it'd be nice. But there's hundreds of podcasts out there that do the same thing that I do. So it's tough to get started, but eventually I think I'll take off. You guys know I have a very unique style. I don't script anything. I don't really have a plan. With the hockey side, with the guys, I have like 3 basic questions I want to ask, and then we tear into it from there. And lately I've been getting into the topic of fighting in hockey and my thoughts on it, along with the guys' thoughts on it. You guys feel free to comment over. For me, it's over here. For you guys, I think it's down below. But comment, let me know your thoughts. I think that there's definitely still a spot in it for players to police the game themselves. Obviously, referees aren't going to catch anything. If you watch an NHL game or even a juniors game at any level, you see that. But I definitely feel like the day of the enforcer, like just sitting on the bench and being that guy that comes off the bench, beats crap out of somebody, goes in the box, goes sits back down on the bench. I think that day is done. I think it's been done for a while. I think the modern enforcer needs to be able to put up points and contribute to the team, especially at the junior level. There's just too many talented kids out there to choose from, and it could take up a roster spot and cause problems that probably most coaches don't want to deal with. So there's that. I don't know. I was hoping some people from the Facebook page would come over and join me here, but real quick, some self-promotion stuff. I'm going to type it in the comments here. The Lundy Show podcast is available. Is available on iTunes and Spotify. I think I spelled that right. iTunes and Spotify. Just search the Lundy Show podcast on both, and you'll find them. Episodes before they were numbered, all the way up to this current one, which is, as I stated, not Joe Rogan. It was a good episode up until Al had some technical difficulties with Skype. And so I kind of carried the last couple minutes by myself just to finish a thought. Tried to call him back, didn't work. So we wrapped up. So you guys can follow me over on Twitter at Lundy Show. The L and the S are capitalized. Facebook the Lundy Show over on Patreon. That'll be patreon.com. Find my / button here, / the Lundy Show. You guys can donate over there. Any little bit helps, guys. I'm really trying to get to a point where, like I said before, where this is kind of a self-sustaining deal. Then I have to push a lot of my own money into it. Some of my goals for the show, guys, I would like to move out of my living room eventually and have an office space that I can call my studio and record in there. That way I'm away from everybody. I'm out of my house. People don't have to be quiet while we're working. My time bomb watch is going off. That way we don't have to be quiet while we're don't have to shut everything down while I'm recording or try to mess with settings to drown out sound. I want to switch from an Acer laptop to either a Mac like desktop or a MacBook laptop and hook everything up there. From what I've been told, Mac is way better for this kind of thing, for recording, for sound recording and stuff like that. So I'd like to try that out or get one of those. So, and if you guys have any ideas on where I can get one for cheap, like maybe a refurbished one or something, let me know. Let me know in the comments, or just hit me up on one of the social media mediums that I have posted here. Other than that, guys, like this is what we do here at the Lundy Show. Again, very DIY or whatever they call it, self-promoting. I don't have a promo team behind me. I do have a good friend of mine who is Al, somebody that we know mutually, actually created the Lundy Show logo, and got my merch line started. So if you guys want to go over to redbubble.com, not to be confused with any of the red on the internet, because that would probably get you in trouble at work, at school, in the office, in the coach's office or in the locker room. So redbubble.com, search the Lundy Show logo, buy 7-star, and check things out. You get your laptop, laptop skins, cell phone covers, t-shirts, hoodies, tapestries, throw pillows. For the ladies, there's yoga pants out there, so you can show your support for the show that way. Put that logo wherever you want. That's all I'm going to say about that. For my wrestlers out there, if you guys want to get tights and put my logo on there, cool. If any logo or any merch you guys get from me, please just take a picture. If you got a shirt or a hoodie or a laptop skin or whatever, take a picture of it, post it on one of the social media, so I know that you guys are out there supporting the show. Again, every little bit helps. And I'm thinking that there might be a new shirt out there here pretty quick. Says "Not Joe Rogan." So that seems to be the theme of today. And I love Joe Rogan, so I'm not trying to knock him. Obviously, the guy's found a formula that works for him. Very successful in a lot of avenues of life. Fear Factor would not have been near as entertaining wasn't for Joe Rogan. His comedy shows are pretty funny. They're pretty edgy. I enjoy the dog shit out of them. And his podcast is pretty good. They go a lot longer than mine. He has better guests than I do. I'm still working on getting guests and getting guys to commit. A lot of it comes down to with some of these like independent wrestlers and stuff that I talk to and that I know. A lot of it comes down to scheduling. My schedule doesn't match with their schedule, or vice versa, and it's pretty hard to get them on. I had a Minnesota guy now, look, somewhere Wisconsin guy, the sexy heartthrob, Mr. 305 Live himself. I had Cody Reese on the show a while back, and that guy is definitely taking strides to advance his wrestling career. Very talented guy. He can do everything from putting on a very technical match, I guess, to death match style, which is very hardcore, a lot of blood and light tubes and tables and crazy stuff like that. Hey, and if you guys have ideas for guests, I'm really, and not just pro wrestling or hockey, but anything. If you guys know a police officer that's got a great story, if you guys know an entrepreneur that needs, that's just starting out with a worthy cause, whatever, guys, feel free to drop me a message or whatever, and let me know. Let me know, what, if you guys know somebody who wants to come on a show, let me know. I want to expand the show. I want to make it not so two-dimensional, make it like 3, 4, 5, 6-dimensional, and really try to get the ball rolling on my brand. Because I really have, I've really poured my heart and soul into this, guys. And I love this shit. This is fun for me. I get to talk about two things that I'm very passionate about on a regular basis with a friend of mine and with guys that I've only met this year. With the Yellowstone Quake. Go back and listen to the episode with Coach Phil and Coach Tucklapper. Very good guys, very fun to talk to. Even go back to last year and listen to Ryan's episode with Jordan Tags, with Tagsy. Good stuff. Go back and listen to all these episodes, guys. But I'm gonna dip. I'm gonna take off. It's Copenhagen time. I'm gonna sit back and relax and figure out what we're gonna do for date night tonight, guys. I thank you so much for at least popping in and not saying hi, but at least popping in and showing a little bit of interest. I'm going to head down the road and hang out with my kiddo and watch some tube and figure out what we're going to do for date night tonight. So again, guys, follow me on Twitter at Lundy Show. The L and the S are capitalized in the Lundy Show, as it says right now in the comments. Follow me on Facebook at Lundy Show or at the Lundy Show. I do a lot of updates and stuff over there as well. Go over to the Patreon. It's patreon.com/Lundy Show. We'll get that figured out and rolling here pretty soon where I can get some exclusive content for you guys. I'm also working on getting my Twitch account rolling so I can get you guys some behind the scenes stuff over there and just ways for you guys to get more interactive with the show. So remember, guys, my usual send off here: stay classy, stay humble, love each other, make somebody smile a lot better. If it's some random person that you don't know, make them laugh. I guarantee you'll feel better about yourself at the end of the day. If you don't drink, don't drive. If you drink, don't drive. Do the watermelon crawl. See you guys next time. I'm Lundy. This is my show. Peace.